Are you having trouble finding and maintaining meaningful friendships and relationships? Do you feel overwhelmed when making plans to further your education or enter the workforce? Do you have difficulty identifying your strengths and weaknesses and coming up with ways to improve yourself? Maybe this will help. What is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, you ask? The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI for short, is a personality assessment tool that can be used to determine an individual's unique strengths, weaknesses, and outlook on life. Each individual belongs to one of 16 different personality types. This classification explains distinct variations in behavior, social interaction, and perception of the world. The MBTI is commonly used by psychologists, church organizations, teachers, and marriage and career counselors. In the United States, 89 of the Fortune 100 companies have used the MBTI for various purposes. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator was created by Catherine Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers. The two were inspired by the teachings of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. The theories behind the MBTI were developed around World War II, but the first official questionnaire was published in 1962. An estimated 2.5 million take the official MBTI assessment every year. While you can only obtain an official verdict on your personality type through a costly visit with a trained and certified MBTI practitioner, chances are you'll be able to determine your own type with a little research and self-analysis. Each blue box represents one of the 4 personality functions. Within the box are 2 different personality preferences to choose from. While you may see parts of yourself in both boxes, chances are you will relate to one of the preferences more than the other. Take note of the 4 light blue letters that best describe you, picking one of the 2 letters in each box. Please pause the video to make a decision. Are you finished? Congratulations! Now you've determined your MBTI type. Since it will take too much time for me to go over each of the 16 types in detail, I will discuss how psychologist David Kiersey grouped the 16 types into 4 main temperaments. Sensing and judging guardians tend to be respectful, responsible, law-abiding citizens. They feel it is their duty to seek justice and serve the community. Around 46% of the population are guardians, making it the most common temperament. The sensing, perceiving artisans are concerned with the here and now, and are generally optimistic, open-minded individuals. Artisans enjoy spontaneous methods of self-expression, even if it means bending the rules. Around 27% of the population falls into this category. Intuitive, thinking rationals are strategic masterminds with a knack for self-discipline and solving problems. They heavily base decisions on logic and reason, which can sometimes hurt the feelings of those around them. Rationals are the rarest type, a mere 10% of the population. Intuitive feeling idealists are morally rooted, emotionally sensitive individuals. They desire to improve the lives of others through giving advice and support, and are deeply upset if their efforts are unsuccessful. Idealists make up around 16% of the population. Here are a few well-known examples of each MBTI type. See how ISFP Michael Jackson fits the description of an artisan? Or how Gandhi is an advice-giving idealist? Disregard the fact that Lucius Malfoy and Severus Snape are both rationals. Bad guys come in all types and sizes. Now that you understand the basics of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, we can move on to the many benefits gained by using it. The most valuable of these is self-improvement. Whether a specific type is common or rare, it's important to understand that each MBTI type is valuable. If everyone was a practical, law-abiding guardian, our world would be peaceful, but lacking in artistic expression, scientific ingenuity, and social reform. In contrast, a world full of rule-breaking, statement-making artisans would be aesthetically beautiful, but socially chaotic. A balance of all types is essential to a healthy, culturally diverse world. If you belong to one of the rarer types, such as the elusive ENTJ or INFJ, don't be disheartened. Being in smaller supply actually makes your skills in higher demand. Self-acceptance is key to self-improvement. That's why it's so important to objectively determine your strengths and weaknesses. The website personalitypage.com has an in-depth section about embracing strengths and overcoming weaknesses common for each personality type. For example, the page commends ISFPs for their artistic endeavors and ability to listen to others. However, it recommends that an ISFP should work on accepting criticisms and perceiving things objectively. Tips and tricks like these are very helpful for increasing one's emotional intelligence and overcoming personality setbacks. Once you have an understanding of yourself, it's time to apply the MBTI to your understanding of others. Accept that what makes you unique is also what makes others unique. Everyone reacts a little bit differently given the same circumstances. For example, an extrovert will love spending a night out on the town, making a lot of new friends, and being the life of the party. An introvert is likely to feel overwhelmed by all of the attention and pressure to socialize in this scenario. This doesn't mean that the introvert is wrong for not enjoying the nightlife. It only means that they prefer to spend more of their time alone or with smaller groups of friends and family members. It should be noted that everyone thinks differently as well. As a general rule, Js are very structured, plan-making individuals. Ps are more open-minded and less of a stickler about time constraints. While it may irk a judging person to wait around on a perceiving person to get things done at the last minute, getting frustrated with them won't solve anything. While it can be hard to overcome personality conflicts, it really is essential in order to maintain peaceful, efficient, and effective interaction between those of different types. Where you may be lacking, another type might be skilled. Appreciate others for who they are and what they can contribute to the greater picture. A controversial but nonetheless interesting aspect of the MBTI is its application in romantic relationships. While different psychologists have varying opinions on ideal type matches, it's important to understand that nothing is impossible. Any two individuals with well-developed types can be compatible in a relationship if they are willing to put forth the effort to make the relationship flourish. When both partners have the same strengths, they also tend to have the same weaknesses. As a result, the general consensus on relationship compatibility is that those with opposite preferences for the first, third, and fourth function are most compatible. For example, an extroverted, thinking, perceiving person is likely to be attracted to an introverted, feeling, judging person, and vice versa. This is because we tend to be attracted to those who have skills different from our own. The joining of two contrasting skill sets makes for a mutually beneficial relationship. When it comes to the second function, however, it's best that both partners share this preference. Sharing this preference is sometimes referred to as being on the same wavelength. Having a similar basic method of processing information, either sensing or intuition, makes communication between partners less strained. Ideal types between friends work a little differently than romantic relationships. In most instances, an individual's friendships are secondary to their partners. Because of this, it's not as important that friends have opposite preferences for the first, third, and fourth functions. In fact, many good friends find that they have very similar MBTI types. If you find yourself in a mentally diverse group of friends, don't worry. Try to observe how the others communicate in order to learn how to best cater to their individual needs. Does one person like straightforward, yes or no answers to his questions? He's probably a sensor. If you're intuitive, try not to dance around the answer so much and take a more direct, no-nonsense approach to responding to his questions. He'll really appreciate it. MBTI blogs and forums are a great source for additional information on friendships and relationships. Some forums are set up for those of a specific type to congregate and discuss common hobbies, interests, and problems. You might even find a few new friends along the way. Without a doubt, the education system is one of the most prominent methods of obtaining new knowledge and skills. Since each personality type learns in a slightly different way, it can be difficult for a school to meet the personal needs and preferences of all students in every single class. As a student, this is where we must take a proactive approach to our education. While some classes are required for all students, most schools have a relatively wide variety of electives to choose from. Taking your MBTI type into consideration when choosing electives can be very beneficial to your educational success. For example, if you're a feeler, you probably really enjoy being praised by others for your efforts and actions. You would feel offended if a teacher said anything negative about your work or your character, especially in front of others. Because of this, feelers might want to do a little research on the schools, teachers, and classes they're interested in. If a school is reputed to be rigorous, analytical, and uncaring towards its students, an F will probably have trouble finding the acceptance and appreciation they deserve. In contrast, a warm, touchy-feely school setting will distract a thinker and probably make them feel uncomfortable. Don't attend a school that you don't think is a good match for your personality just because you're being pressured to do so. Be your own guide to your education. There are many benefits to using the MBTI in the workplace as well. 1/3 of businesses in the U.S. have used the MBTI in one way or another. As an employer, the MBTI results of current and prospective employees can be used as a guide to find the best fit for the employees within the business. As an employee, the MBTI can provide an individual with a list of jobs that play up to their personal strengths. For example, social ESF types typically make excellent public relations specialists, while detail-oriented INTPs are skilled at planning, designing, and maintaining electronics. While people of all types can perform almost any job, these lists provide individuals with knowledge of what jobs are naturally suited to their personality. In addition to finding the right job, the MBTI can be used to reduce stress and maximize efficiency within the workplace. If a company needs some artistic guidance on how to arrange furniture, they can ask an artisan and know their project is in safe hands. If a company needs someone to edit an article for a magazine, an English-savvy rational would be happy to do the job. By giving assignments to those who are naturally skilled at the task at hand, companies can ease a lot of frustration and reduce costly mistakes. While this presentation has described many benefits and applications of the MBTI, it has only scratched the surface. There are thousands of articles, books, blogs, and forums dedicated to different aspects of personality theory. Personally, I enjoy looking at MBTI memes. There's also a pretty funny website that describes how your personality would react in an apocalypse. And to my knowledge, Personality Cafe is the most active MBTI forum on the internet. The possibilities for discovery are endless.